Kudos to the grounds crew here at Community First Park. Underway, the Armada will start. Akeil Barrett and Pascal Million. And now ahead to Joseph Toby along the byline. Sends it across, and it's cut off there by Carolina. When these two sides met May the 30th, it didn't take long for Carolina to jump out to a lead. A 9th-minute goal by Connor Tobin was followed by 3 more first-half goals. It was 4-0 at halftime, and that was the final. The Armada dominated possession in that contest, but the RailHawks dominated on the scoreboard. Here's a ball ahead to Nacho Novo, who will spend most of the time poaching up high. Taken away by Perea, who's Scaglia. We should mention Perea making his first start on the back line. He has started as a defensive midfielder, but starting as a center back today for the Armada.
Yeah, I expect Carolina, like always, they're 4-1, 4-1. So Nova plays up front all the time, the lone poacher, as you said, and they pack out the midfield. So you know what I always say is I like to win the battle in the midfield, but it's going to be difficult the way they pack out the midfield.
Wells Thompson lost possession. The Armada able to grab it back with Joseph Toby. One player who played in that match earlier this year who is not playing for Carolina is Wes Knight. He played every single minute of every match up until 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago now, when Carolina took on Tampa Bay, and then retired. And now he's going into coaching. So Wes Knight, who has played as the right back for this Carolina side, this is the first time he will not be out on the pitch for Carolina, a guy who missed the previous 2 years after ACL surgery. A chance in the box for Capono Low, and it's redirected out, and a corner coming for Carolina.
Young in life to retire and go to coaching. 28 years old. Decided he had enough and wanted to be a coach.
He's had a long journey in soccer, including playing in the USL with the Vancouver Whitecaps, and made the move up to MLS. Also had played for San Antonio and most notably for FC Edmonton before coming to Carolina in the North American Soccer League. Another corner on the way here for Carolina in the opening minutes at Community First Park. Guillermo Hoyos, head coach for the Armada in his first year. 4 wins, 4 draws, 8 losses, but his team's been beaten only once in Jacksonville.
That's a good stat for the home crowd. And this is why we keep filling up the ground. They love the attacking style, and to see them win at home, that'll keep them coming.
T. Shipolani will trigger the corner here. He has Neil Lavity short, but he goes long to the far post. Knocked down in front, and David Sierra able to come over to it, snatch it in front of Connor Tobin. Sierra's last action, clean sheet against the New York Cosmos, may be the best individual performance by any Armada player this year. Akeil Barrett can't keep it in. It'll be a throw for New York.
David played very well in that game. He's gaining confidence. He's a good goalkeeper. As I say, I think the two of them complement each other very well.
2 different styles for sure.
Yes.
But both he and Miguel Gallardo have been effective this year for Jacksonville in their inaugural season in the North American Soccer League. Ponolo turns it back to Neil Lavati. 4 goals on the year for Lavati, and he sends this one wide of David Sierra.
That was a touch, I think. That'll be a corner kick.
There's Colin Clark, former international for Northern Ireland. 13 goals for Northern Ireland, including playing in the 1986 World Cup. Also played in the Premier League with Southampton and Queen's Park Rangers and Portsmouth. Longest tenured coach in Carolina history, going back to 2011. This one swung into the box, and Sierra two-hands this one, and he'll start it out on a quick run-out opportunity, targeting Keita. Couldn't get there in time, and it's headed out by Blake Wagner.
That was a long ball from the goalkeeper up just to get something going, I think. Just to get them going up front. Long ball, headed away well by the defense.
Keita well out in the midfield, the center forward. Lost possession there. And there's Perea carving the ball out momentarily. Footy Danso from Gambia playing on the back line for Carolina. Now Shipolani through the midfield, tripped up, and a free kick coming after the foul called on Jacksonville. Here's Lucas Scaglia.
Getting into the game early, just showing his presence there. Just caught his back foot, I think, as he ran towards him.
Scaglia, one of the Argentinians on this Armada side, 7 with Argentinian connections. 8 if you count that Ethan Sonas's parents are Argentinian. He was born in the United States.
Born in Miami, I think. He played there for a while.
And one of a couple of players on this Armada side who were recruited by Mauricio Ruiz, one of our analysts, play college soccer. This one curled in by Million, punched out by Fitzgerald. Now collected by Jemal Johnson. Johnson, left foot chip, nobody on the near post. But a good opportunity there for Jacksonville.
Yeah, it was a good strike from outside, punched out, and Jemal comes right in there, and I'm not sure if he meant that as a shot or as a cross, but you would expect somebody beyond that far post running in, but the break was so quick.
Fitzgerald with the save there. He has decided he's okay with the nickname the Irish Ninja, Akira Fitzgerald.
Really? This has gone end to end a little bit at the moment. They're just testing each other out. And the field's got to be playing well. It looks very good. It's had a lot of rain, but it can absorb that.
Here are the subs for the Armada. You see both Ethan Sonas and Derek Gebhard, the new signees, are available as potential subs for Jacksonville. And it'll be a goal kick for Sierra. The Armada back home on Saturday. They'll take on Atlanta, so back-to-back matches at home within the span of 4 days here for Jacksonville. Toby tries to run onto it. Danso able to get there early. And Fitzgerald will send it back the other way for Carolina. Ortiz playing well wide from his center back spot. Went for the header there. Redirected by Lavity.
And who's covering Lavity out there? Pascal Million running all the way back to cover that move.
They have forced an errant pass and brings a Jacksonville throw. We've been talking quite a bit lately about when the Armada will have their full complement of players off suspensions and off injury and international action and so forth. Boy, it just continues to be one of those things. You know, you're not necessarily going to have everybody every match, but the Armada have been a long time since they've had somebody ready to go, a match ready to go with everybody that they have available in terms of their top players.
May?
Now, you have to go back to April 25th against Tampa Bay, the last time they really had everybody ready to roll. This one sent to the far side now for Joseph Toby. Toby crosses one in, but right into the breadbasket of Akira Fitzgerald.
Yeah, that needed to be back about 10 yards for our forwards to run onto. But Toby's getting forward a lot, getting very far forward. And I think Pereira's just hanging back a bit to cover.
Jamal Johnson spilled by Blake Wagner. It'll be Jacksonville's restart. Here's Sean Nicola, one of the guys who's missed time with international duty on the Guam national team. Now Keita, who's missed time with injury. Keita can't control it in. Keita now tied for 4th in the North American Soccer League with 6 goals scored this year. He scored 3 in his last 2 matches, including 2 last time out.
Yeah, he's really much the goal poacher, isn't he? He's up there all the time. He niggles at players.
Here's Danso targeting ahead. Nacho Novo is offside. The flag up on the far side. Well, we mentioned that Ethan Sonas is available for the Armada if called upon. He just got in town recently. Christy Andauer has more on the first ever player on loan to the Armada. Christy?
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, actually, Ethan is one of the subs for tonight's match, and I was able to speak with him earlier this week. He is so excited to be in town. He actually said it's a lot more humid here than it is in Germany, go figure. But he is match day ready, and it's just up to the coach whether or not he's going to sub him in, and that's just something we're going to have to wait and see later on. Back to you guys.
You see Ethan there on the right, and young man who plays a defensive mid typically. He says he likes to tackle the ball away. He'll fit right in with that defensive mid mentality that Lucas Scaglia has.
Yes, he will, and he's young enough. We'll just see how he fits into the system, but he should do as a defensive mid, who's I've heard is very technical player.
A guy who's spent some time playing for the U.S. men's national under-20 team, trained in the Netherlands, trained in South America with River Plate, trained with Real Madrid as well as a youngster.
Has some great clubs to have on your resume that have worked with and trained with.
Just 19 years of age. Really engaging young man too. Had a chance to talk to him at training yesterday. Really enjoyed a brief chat.
Yeah, I had a brief chat with him this evening, and very nice young man.
Play it back here into the 12th minute. It was already 1-0 Carolina the last time these two teams met by this point in the match. Here's Keita on a run out, trying to run between a couple of Carolina defenders, but Connor Tobin, the captain, able to shield him away from the action.
He looks a strong, tall guy, doesn't he? Connor Tobin looks as if he can deal with a lot of pressure at the back.
If you play at the University of Vermont, as he did, you got to be a couple extra pounds help you deal with those cold winters.
He won't be used to this here then. In Florida, yeah, absolutely.
Scored his first goal since last year against the Armada. It's the only goal he's scored this year. And it started the scoring for Carolina back in the match between these two sides on May the 30th. Here's Ortiz forwarding one to Joseph Toby. Blake Wagner closed him down.
Joseph Toby's playing really forward, way out on this left side.
Yeah, that's the left back, by the way, who's that far forward. Akeil Barrett, who hasn't gotten much into the action so far tonight, had a touch there. Perea now sends it to Sean Niklaw. A lot of bodies forward for the Armada. 9 players forward to the midline. Now to the middle. Barrett with a one-touch and just pulled it. May have rushed it just a bit. Great opportunity there for the Armada and Barrett.
Yeah, great call, Cole. He did. He rushed it a little bit. You see him jump up and down afterwards like, yes. You'll see this here. He was annoyed with himself. He just got too quick on that ball.
Last home match for the Armada was against Minnesota United a couple of weeks ago, and Barrett in that match scored his first professional goal.
And a great strike that was. Great strike for him.
And off a ball created by Keita. Here's Barrett again, running in the middle, running into Footy Danso. At 6'3", Danso certainly has the size over Akeil Barrett. And he gets a stern look from Robert Sabiga, the referee.
Yeah, I like his pace up front. He plays a different role than Flores does when he's in. Flores is very much the playmaker, plays very calm and collected. Akeil just is that explosive speed where he runs at players.
And Flores, one of those guys we've talked about, when will he get back in the lineup? He's been out since an injury at the match at Minnesota 4 weeks ago, and might have a chance to come back on Saturday against Atlanta. Remains to be seen. Here's Nick Perea, former Syracuse star, ahead to Sean Niklaw. San Diego native slams it off of Popono low, and it will be a corner for Jacksonville.
What a beautiful ball from Pereira out to the right-hand side. Niklaw took that well and struck it well and won the corner.
Let's see what Guillermo Hoyos dials up here. The long corners were a problem for the Armada against Tampa. They go the short corner here. Johnson puts one on. Fitzgerald got a hand on it, and it's cleared out by Carolina. But an opportunity there for Jacksonville momentarily. And I was about to say, all 3 goals scored by Tampa last week on Saturday were scored as a result of corners turned into counters. And maybe we won't see as many long corners by the Armada in this one as a result.
And we'll see the midfield lying back a little bit, I think, to counteract that. I'm sure the coach has worked on that. That was a great ball in there, very low across the 6-yard box. That will have defenses all over the place.
Here's Novo, sneaking past Perea, puts one in, and over the top by Austin Deleuze.
Again, he didn't pick Nicola. Job there to pick that guy up on the far post for that long ball, and missed him. This is it, the long ball. Nicola is just not even there, so he didn't pick him up at all.
What a job by Novo to have a nice little finesse move to go over the head of Perea.
Beautiful.
The Armada will try to build from the back here in the 16th minute. Back in the first meeting between these two sides, the Armada really dominated possession, 62% to 38%. And it was all about the counters for Carolina in that match. The Armada appeared to be playing a little more selective in their attacks here in this one.
That's what I said. The midfield are just dropping back a little bit. It's only 10 yards back, but it gives them the opportunity to win the ball in the middle of the field and control the midfield.
Perea battles for a header. Lost it there. And now David Sierra out to the top of the penalty area to grab it.
Now they build it up again. And Toby's way out here on the left side, and he gets the ball.
Joseph Toby targeting Keita. Couldn't connect there. Now a quick counter opportunity for Carolina, and the speed of Akeil Barrett really closed down Neil Lavity that time. You can see how quickly Barrett's speed can impact not only the attack but also the defense.
Yeah, he's playing in that role where I think the coach has probably told him to tackle back a little bit more than he did in the last game. And they're crucial tackles. That, you know, you're in the mid-third of the field, crucial tackles.
Guillermo Hoyos has been adamant about instituting a revolutionary approach in the NASL, and players both on the Armada and on other teams have mentioned that it's a completely different style than they see at any other opportunity.
And they fear the Armada, a lot of them, because they do attack so much.
Here's Shipolani curling one in, punched out with both hands by Sierra, right to Pascal Million. Chance for the Haitian to turn. Now Keita. Jemal Johnson was targeted there by Akeil Barrett. And it was disrupted by Blake Wagner, former FC Dallas player. There are some FC Dallas connections here. Colin Clark coached at FC Dallas. Dario Sala, the general manager of the Armada, of course, was a MLS All-Star in goal for FC Dallas as well.
I think one of the new boys played there, didn't he, Gerhard?
That's right.
He was connected with
Sonis, I believe it was. And then a heading opportunity for Keita. Goes out and wide.
Great ball from Nicola running down to the right. Nicola just poked that in over the bar. Yes, Sonis. It was.
Take another look here. Keita, not the guy you usually see going for the header. He was in position there.
Yes, he was. He beat the defender. Beat the defender.
There's Barrett running at Akira Fitzgerald. Headed out. It'll be a throw for Carolina as Toby was closing down on Shipolani.
I love that when Barrett closes down the goalkeeper. Don't give him a free kick. And there, it paid off.
Certainly slowed the attack for Carolina. Austin Deleuze. Now to Novo. Ahead to Shipolani. Flag is up. Shipolani was offside. Very close.
Very late flag.
The Armada will take an offside call here or there. Felt like they were robbed against Tampa Bay on a goal that it appeared Keita had scored off a feed from Lucas Scaglia. Those things tend to balance out over the course of the year.
They do. There were two offside things there. Keita definitely was not off. But then when the Armada tried to enforce the trap, the offside trap, they left one back a little bit, and Guajardo had to make that great save.
And that was the, you're talking about the play that resulted in Lucas Trejo coming back.
Yes, it was.
One of the NASL Play of the Week nominees. To see Trejo track back him, he came from out of the picture to get in behind Gallardo, who had come off his line.
I don't see how he got to that ball running so fast towards the net, his own goal.
Wound up hitting the post
Super.
and winding up in the back of the net. 20 minutes in, we are scoreless here in Jacksonville. Carolina appears content to play a very patient style on the road.
Yeah, they got six back in their third of the field here. So the two midfield players drop back very quickly, and they're just kind of counter-punching a little bit and holding up our plays down the middle or down the sides.
Barrett trying to get it to Keita, couldn't connect there. Tobin intercepts. And it's run onto by Lavity, with Keita trying to press him. And a throw for Jacksonville. For the second straight week and the fourth time in the last 5 games, the Armada are without a player because of a red card. That is Lucas Trejo. They played against Tampa without Sean Nicola, against the Cosmos without Keita, and Scaglia prior to that. Here's the ball played into the box. Fitzgerald goes high over Jemal Johnson to bring it in.
There was another Nicola, great run down the right-hand side, almost to the byline, and hit it first time. Fitzgerald did well to get up to that.
Kira Fitzgerald was born in Japan. His parents wanted to have the birth there. As the Armada set up for a corner. Came back to the United States, attended college at Wake Forest, spent some time on loan to NYCFC earlier this year. Here is Pascal Million for the corner. Tried to get it to Castrillon, but could not. And now here is Nacho Novo on a run out, being quickly pursued by Fabricio Ortiz, center back. And Ortiz, well, there's a conversation about whether it's.
I think it's a throw in, isn't it?
It should be. It will be a throw, and it looks like it's to Carolina.
Yeah, it looked a clean take by Ortiz.
Let's take a look. You can see it. Yeah, it was kicked out by Carolina there. So whether that, I don't know if there was a foul called on that, because there was some conversation between the assistant referee and referee Robert Sabiga. Headed away by Scaglia.
But that was a wonderful run by Fabricio there. Made a lot of ground up to make that tackle.
Muggy night in Jacksonville. We mentioned the rains earlier. There was some pretty extreme rain and lightning in the area around 4 o'clock, but it has been placid since then.
It looks pretty stable at the moment, doesn't it?
Here's a corner coming in. Sierra away, and there was an opportunity there for Tobin again, but it went wide of the net.
I think Sierra completely missed that.
Take another look at Sierra. Yep, Tobin got the head on it. Scaglia did have the near post cover.
Good. At last, they've been left. They've left that near post neglected, and eventually they had somebody on it.
After tonight, the Armada have 7 home matches and 6 road matches remaining. They have played 16 matches this year, 6 of them here in the 20-game fall schedule. And when they come home, remain home Saturday, they'll take on one of the surprise teams, one of the surging teams in the North American Soccer League in the fall season, the Atlanta Silverbacks.
You know, some great balls, a great ball from Pereira there, but just a little bit too high. They're trying this really long ball out to Toby on the left and missing out on the pace a little bit. He's struggling to pick the balls up.
Scaglia play it back to Nick Pereira. You mentioned Pereira's play against Tampa Bay as being very steady and smart.
Yeah, he's very impressive. he has a good head on him. He knows where he is. He knows where the play is. He tackled back well, and he went forward when needed.
A young man who really opened some eyes in the preseason in a closed-door scrimmage against NYCFC. He scored a goal for the Armada. And now he gets the start, not at a midfield spot where he's been on a couple of occasions, now starting at center back.
Center back, and yeah, he scored a scorcher, didn't he, in midfield from midfield.
Here's Barrett looking for Jaime Castrillon in the box. Barrett runs onto it. Another opportunity in the box for the Armada, but they're just half a click off sync right now.
Yeah, just half a pace out, aren't they? Look at this ball here across, touched in.
Castrillon was trying to shoot it in from his wallet that time. Former Colorado Rapid couldn't quite connect. He's been very close on a number of occasions with headers and other things, but hasn't gotten his first goal as a member of the Armada. Did set up Tommy Krzanovic's goal in the 1-0 victory over the New York Cosmos.
Yeah, he's played a lot better in this full season than I think he did in the spring. He's getting forward very quickly and makes some penetrating passes from the midfield. He's due a goal.
32-year-old Colombian who led the Colorado Rapids in goals in 2012. Had knee surgery in 2013, and really this is his first full year back off the surgery. Here's Keita trying to work around Cipollani.
And he's probably lost about half a pace with that surgery. It does something to you psychologically. You don't want to go into the tackle so hard. You hang back a little bit, protect it, and that's affected him a little bit, I think.
Cipollani, a grin on his face as he sets this one down. Looks like a guy who knows something that everybody else doesn't about this corner.
I hope he knows where he's putting it.
It's on the way and headed out by Jacksonville. Jemal Johnson gets ahead on it. Keita tries to get to it. Now here's Barrett. Ahead for Keita, who's dragged from behind. That has got to be a card. And it will be. Yellow card pulled. Very obviously.
Yeah, professional foul that. Jemal got round him and nobody in front of him. So here we go. He gets around him here.
A little grab once and a little hold on by Capono low.
Keita had gone. And very professional that. Just pull him back.
Lowe, who has some international experience, born in Hawaii, played for Puerto Rico. Figure that one out. Now here's another international playing for an island nation, Guam. Nicola, now another one, as Pascal Million of the Haitian national team has it, battling through two defenders and couldn't find the way through. Nicola with a takeaway. Here's Scaglia. Castrillon, Akeil Barrett, blast one, knocked down nicely by Akira Fitzgerald.
I thought one of the other two players would have taken a hit before that, but they tried to play it across. But a good strike from Akeil.
Scaglia looked like he would have an opportunity, maybe just couldn't get it settled enough.
Yeah. So they're attacking, but they are playing, I think, more safely than they did in the last game. They're dropping a couple of players back and covering this break.
Well, having Perea in for Trejo certainly changes in terms of the style of player. Trejo, a little more of an attacking, go forward center back. Perea willing to be a little more in the same geography more often. Here's Keita, top of the box, tried to get one off, blocked out in front. Ortiz able to track it down, get it to Perea in the center circle. Now ahead for Million, misfired there. And throw coming for Carolina.
Good work for Ortiz there again. Took that ball down, immediately saw Pereira, pucked it to him. Pereira quickly out far right, trying to pick up Akeil Barrett.
We mentioned Carolina coming in to this one in 5th place in the overall standings. They are a club that knows how difficult it is to get into the postseason. Each of the last 2 years, they've had very good seasons, but have just missed out. 4th in the spring, 5th in the fall last season, missed the championship by just 2 points. So that's a win rather than a draw one day. Toby lost control, got a little overheated there.
Yeah, second touch was not good. Just tapped it forward about 3 yards. Gave the defender time to come in on him.
Year before for Carolina, 2013, they finished 2nd in both the spring and the fall and didn't make the postseason. So Carolina has been on the verge the last couple of years. Here's Keita. Some fancy footwork. Little overhead. Nobody was home. Taken by Austin Deleuze and now recaptured by Keita. More than a half an hour in. Both sides have had a few opportunities. The Armada with a couple of building opportunities. Haven't quite gotten it there.
Yeah, they're building very well and knocking it about. We're playing a lot in their third of the field. Here's a great pass out to the right there.
Into the box. Johnson now. Barrett with a shot. Sent beautifully by Fitzgerald. And put in by Castrillon. Just as you said, Jamie Castrillon's first goal as a member of the Armada.
Yeah, I said he was due one about 2 minutes ago, and he must be so pleased with that. Great shot from Akeil Barrett, and the goalkeeper couldn't handle it, and Jaime came in and took his chance. That was good build-up, and we've been building for the last 2 or 3 minutes, playing in their third, taking the ball early at the back, getting it forward early, and the pressure brings about the goal.
And if you watch Castrillon setting up at the top of the 6-yard box there, just waiting for the deflection and a deft little touch to backspin it in.
How he got his foot round in the air as he was almost falling onto the ground. Excellent.
Jemal Johnson celebrating with Castrillon. A 1-0 Jacksonville lead with the Castrillon goal coming in the 32nd minute. So the Armada with the first goal against Carolina this year. Into the box, Novo cut off by Fabricio Ortiz. Again,
a great clean tackle from Fabricio at the back.
You really like what he's done here in the fall.
I have.
Akeil Barrett now turning the other way. He's got Keita on his right, instead to the middle for Barrett. Barrett, a left-footed shot, and it sneaks by Akeil Fitzgerald. It's 2-0. Just a minute later, second goal of Akeil Barrett's career.
Great build-up, and where was Akeil? Right in the right position. Hits it with his left foot, and great little celebration on the side there. But an excellent goal. Here it is again.
Barrett looking up all the way. Look how the pace and the positioning to put it just beyond. And here is the Jamaican celebration.
That's Toby with him. Look at the voice.
Miguel Gallardo getting into it as well.
That's very good.
So 2-0 Jacksonville.
I just hope the coach doesn't park the bus right now.
You want to keep some pressure going forward.
Yeah, I love to see midfield pressure. So let's keep the midfield pressure on.
Here's Toby with a long one for Akeil Barrett off his head, and it'll be a throw for Jacksonville. Yeah, last time the Armada jumped out to an early lead, it was 2-0, then 3-1 against Minnesota United a couple of weeks ago here at Community First Park, but they couldn't hang on to the lead. Minnesota able to take advantage.
Yeah, Minnesota are a better team, I think, a better team than the RailHawks. They're all round a better team.
They gave the assist, by the way, to Akeil Barrett on the Akeil Barrett goal. Second assist of the year for Akeil.
Yeah, it was a great ball right in the middle of no man's land. For defense, it's just a little bit too far forward for them to go to. Perfect for someone like Akeil with his speed to run onto it.
Take a look when we get a chance here. It looks like the Armada have kind of modified their formation. Keita is playing the one poacher, but they've dropped the two outside forwards, Million and Johnson, back in line with Akeil Barrett now.
Well, you saw Million just a moment ago running back and making a great tackle over on the far right of the field. So, yeah, I think he's dropping them back. Toby's coming forward a lot, but he's being well covered at the back.
Nick Perea for Jacksonville. Chips it ahead. Trying to get it to Keita. Won by Carolina, but briefly. And now Perea will run back onto it.
Good ball from Perea. Put the defense under a little bit of pressure. And that's what you like to see there. And Keita going for the ball.
Here's Pascal Million. Jean Nicklaw, right back, again, very far forward. And there's Jamie Castrillon, a midfielder, slotting in back, kind of tucking in defensively. Sierra had to get rid of it in a hurry. They start to press back, do Carolina. This is Deleuze putting some pressure on Perea, and right over near Squid Vicious, the Armada Kraken. It'll be a throw for Carolina.
I think it's...
Oh, for Jacksonville.
Yeah, Perea played that very well. Played it off the Carolina side of the player.
Perea's hobbling a bit too, as you see there on the left side of your screen. Again, remember the Armada are very thin in terms of defenders to utilize.
Yeah, he is a little bit restricted in his movement there. But he will not want to come off. He will not want to come off. He's probably enjoying himself too much out there. But Sierra caused that little problem. His first touch wasn't good, and the Carolina player was on top of him.
And you see the pressure that time by Toby. Let's head down. We mentioned Pascal Million with his second assist of the season for Jacksonville. That's to go with 4 goals. Christy Andauer has more on the Haitian national.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Pascal Million said it pretty clear this past week. I spoke to him and he said it's do or die. They picked Carolina as they picked a bad week to come to Jacksonville because the Armada needs points now more than ever. And if before the Armada was giving 100%, Million says they need to give 110%. And clearly that is what they're doing here tonight. The first time the Armada is up 2-0 at home. Back to you guys.
All right, Christy, thanks very much. An early start. We've talked in the past about having an early fast start, and Million, you know, after the game, Christy talked to him and he was just kind of beside himself. He didn't know what needed to happen, but he knew it needed to happen. And it has happened here in the opening 39 minutes.
I think they worked out that they can attack, yes, and they're very good going forward, but they had to pull a couple of players back and control the back end of the midfield. The long balls were killing them. Far too many people forward. So I think they figured that out, and although they're still playing attacking, and you don't expect the coach to do anything else but attack, but they have a mind on defense, so they're dropping the odd player back.
And this also becomes the question of at what point, if at some point, do the Armada decide that they're going to tap the brakes a little bit? You mentioned parking the bus. It doesn't necessarily have to be that dramatic of a change, but it does seem that they may have taken sort of maybe downshifted from 5th to 4th here.
Yeah, maybe. I would like to see them play at the speed they've been playing so far. I'd like to see them keep going forward, but be aware that, you know, somebody's got to drop back and help out the back too. So I don't want to see them take their foot off the pedal, because once you gain momentum as a team when you're 2-0 down, that's when you're in a little trouble.
The Armada front line there of Pascal Million, Keita, and Jemal Johnson right to left, discussing how to handle this free kick. Keita seems to have a plan. He scored off a free kick against Tampa Bay on Saturday, bangs it into the wall, and will redirect it back to Ortiz. Now well wide to Sean Niklaw. Niklaw trying to get to the byline, going past Capono low.
And wins the corner.
A corner here from Jacksonville, who had 14 corners to just 4 for Carolina the first time these two sides met.
And yeah,
lost 4-0.
And it was 4-0 against.
There were some dramatic numbers. 14-4 in terms of corners, 62% to 38% in terms of possession in favor of the Armada. But those counters were just so precise from Carolina, led to a 4-0 victory.
As a coach, that's the last thing you want to see, the stats like that, and then lose 4-0.
Million. They go long or short with this corner. Long. Castrillon got ahead on it, but nobody was in the area. Keita went down.
I think he got a bit of a push there. That's why he was looking up.
Danso sends it out. Armada will have a throw once again here. Final 5 minutes or so regulation time in the first half. And Guillermo Hoyos has to be very pleased with how his side has performed thus far.
Yeah, good pressure on the defense there to make them play that ball out of play. They didn't have a chance to find a player. Great pressure.
Now Keita putting it back out to the top. Nobody home for the Armada. So turned back the other way by Lafferty. And Carolina will have a stab at one here. Cipollone trying to run onto one. Perea shields him. And Sierra able to play it out. It'll be a throw for Carolina. Dangerous attack that time by T. Cipollone, the South African-born star who has scored 4 goals and leads Carolina with 4 assists this year.
But Toby got back very quick to make that first tackle on him. And that's what we weren't doing last Saturday.
Tobin ahead to Lowe, taken away by Niklaw. He'll try a long one. Keita's out there. 1-on-2. Keita battling for it. Here comes Barrett flying into the action. And it'll be Carolina's possession. Watch out here on the counter. Nicely played away by Fabricio Ortiz. Closing minutes of the first half here in Jacksonville at Community First Park.
They're a little bit rattled, aren't they, the RailHawks at the moment? Playing that sort of ball there was silly ball to play down the right. Nobody there. They're a little bit rattled, playing a little bit quick on the ball. Just hold it somewhat longer and find players, and they're not doing that, which is to the Armada's advantage.
When Carolina has won in the fall season, both of their victories have come while scoring 3 goals. So they do have some firepower. Jacksonville throw coming up here. Jacksonville throw indicated by the assistant referee. Referee thought otherwise. So here's Carolina back the other way. Broken up by Jamie Castrillon. Now Akeil Barrett. Barrett with a step over. Slides it through to Jemal Johnson. Couldn't do anything with it. Carolina scored 3 goals once in their spring season and 4 goals once. That was against Jacksonville.
Connor Tobin's getting very physical with Keita at the moment. You see him every time Keita gets the ball, he's into his back. And Keita will play on that.
We're hearing we'll have 1 minute of stoppage time added here at the end of the first half. The Armada with a 2-0 lead, scoring a pair of goals within a minute of one another. Here is Keita trying to add a third at the end of the half. Leaves it off for Jemal Johnson. Back to Lucas Scaglia. The Armada with a chance at a final possession here. Here's Niklaw coming to the inside. Tried a through ball. Couldn't connect with Keita. Taken away by Carolina. And Mark Anderson will send it back the other way. Long one for Nacho Novo. But it's over his head and over the head of Fabricio Ortiz. And David Sierra will stand over for a moment. And Nick Perea, you can see him giving the No rush.
Yeah,
signal.
and they had 3 players back very quick then, the Armada, and they were not doing that against Tampa. So as soon as that long ball came in, they had 3 players back, and a number of Toby was running back.
Playing without 4 of the regular starters, I think you could call this first half performance by the Armada a very mature performance.
Very calculated, very sure of themselves, the way they've been playing with a lot of confidence. Even Pereira out there slowing it down. Come on, boys, just take your time.
Here is Pascal Million. Maybe one more push for the Armada here. Crosses one toward Niklaw. Got a shoulder on it, but couldn't control it. Carolina able to dig it out. Mark Anderson in the closing seconds here of the first half. Jacksonville up 2.
I'm just watching the defense there. They had 3 players just hanging back again as soon as that break started.
Here's Akeil Barrett. Barrett, top of the box, fires and almost curled it in the top corner. Barrett was that close from his second goal of the match.
Super ball to Barrett. He just drifted past the player here. Look at that little move, and then just got underneath the ball with his shot. But great move.
And that's halftime with the Armada leading 2-0. Akeil Barrett with one of the goals.
They did in the first half, keeping the players wide, splitting the defense, and just dropping Scaglier back a little bit more, say 10 yards back from where he was playing in the first half.
Carolina has possession to start here in the second half. We'll see if they change up their formation. It looks like they're putting Cipollani up a little higher there. We'll see if he remains there. Again, their standard 4-1-4-1 certainly is adaptable to putting another player up high with Nacho Novo.
Yeah, of course, and they will need to do that in the second half.
Johnson centers one towards Keita at the top of the 6-yard box. Keita will bring it back out, return it to Jemal Johnson, the former Blackburn Rover. Targets Toby in the box. Now a quick turn the other way. Here's Cipollani. Armada racing back in defense. Through ball for Novo, and Sierra well off his line, able to clear it out for Jacksonville.
It's very important first 10-15 minutes of this half. We need to stamp our authority that we are going to close them down. We are going to move forward and attack.
Ball into the middle. Dangerous as Novo went sliding in and sends it over the top. Novo tied for second in the North American Soccer League with 7 goals. And the former star at Rangers, who's in the Team Hall of Fame there in Glasgow, nearly put Carolina on the board here.
Yeah, before the Rangers found their demise in being relegated. Yeah, he's a very good player there. But Niklaw, that awkward ball for him to take, didn't take it too well on this side.
And again, another run out here for Novo. Tackled away by Ortiz smartly.
Again, so clean.
We seem to see a change in his slide tackles in the international friendly against Boca Juniors, against some very good competition.
I think that's when it started.
Yeah.
That's when he started to really tackle so much better. His timing was better. It wasn't that he was going for the player before, but his timing was out and it looked bad. And he got a lot of yellow cards.
See some players in those green vests warming up on the side for Jacksonville. And the question is when and whom will be called upon by Guillermo Hoyos. The Armada enjoying this 2-0 lead. Toby sends one to the far post and beyond.
Strong kick, far too strong. But that's Toby. He's got a heck of a foot on him. Just needs to calm down a little bit and chip that one in.
Toby scored one of the signature goals of the year for the Armada.
Yeah.
The equalizer against the New York Cosmos up in New York.
Yeah, I love that goal he scored against the Cosmos. Super goal.
Well, we wondered what Colin Clark might be thinking for the second half. Christy Andauer may have an answer for us. Christy?
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, I actually spoke to Colin Clark, and he said, actually, I asked him, you were up 4-0 last time you were here in Jacksonville. Now you're trailing 2-0. What happened? And he said he told his players that really they need to be better at defending and better at attacking. They're not playing the way they're used to. They're not very good with the ball right now, and they really just need to wake up, essentially. Back to you guys.
Sounds like a pretty simple message, does it not?
Sounds very simple. I'm sure it's not that simple for them, but he made it sound very simple.
Attack better and defend better. Okay.
To me, they've lost. This is dangerous.
Perea tried to kick it away. He was tripped up by Lavity, and Perea is down momentarily, perhaps.
That was very dangerous. Pereira did very well then and took a knock.
Again, we mentioned that the Armada are not particularly deep on the back line today. And Perea takes the hand up from Robert Sabiga. Take another look at it.
He just got caught after the ball a little bit.
Knee on knee knock there, maybe?
Yes.
It's one of those that hurts, but it's going away at some point.
And it's coming a lot of the time. That's where you sacrifice your body a little bit to make that play and get the ball away.
Toby again. Toby on the run up, gets it to Keita. Keita unloads and wide of Akira Fitzgerald.
Look where Jaime was on that. As he shot, Jaime was running through for the rebound.
Just like he did the first time when he played the carom. Take another look here. You'll see Castrillon coming up the middle.
Castrillon coming up.
Ortiz able to control it for Jacksonville. Now Jemal Johnson. New Jersey born, grew up in Manchester. And off his toe. It'll be a throw for Carolina.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that they're still attacking. They're still attacking and getting back. We got 3 back now and a 4th coming back. There's Jaime.
Novo coming back. Shipolani with the turn. Plays it out high. Blocked by Perea. Back to Novo. Chips it to the far side. Put on the ground and wide of the goal. And an opportunity there for Carolina.
There again, he was left on his own on the left side. And Nicola was ball watching, moved into the center and left the RailHawk completely on his own to take that shot. Very lucky to get away with that.
Here is Sierra. Well, the Armada come into this one sitting on the bottom of the table. We mentioned just 7 points off the final playoff spot. So they're certainly in contention if they can pile up some victories at home. Here's Nicola trying to center one for Million. It's played out for a corner for Jacksonville.
I'm just not sure about Nicola. Oh, he's not taking the corner. I noticed against Tampa, he took a few corners.
All right, here comes Jemal Johnson to take this one instead. Armada not in a hurry here with a 2-0 lead. Million lost it. Here's Shipolani coming back the other way for Carolina. Closed down by Jemal Johnson. And a whistle on Johnson.
Shipolani is right over on the left-hand side there for 5 or 10 minutes, and he's just gone back into the right side.
Here's Carolina trying to push forward. Headed by Nicola. Settled down by Lavity. Nicola will run back on it. And it'll be a throw on the side for Austin Deleuze. Deleuze, another player who can slide forward. There's a little dangerous play. That one was not well coordinated between Million and Perea. And Perea kind of looked at Pascal to say, hey, what was that?
What are you giving me the ball for in the front of the goal as the RailHawks are closing him down? Lucky that rebound went wide.
We mentioned of the 16 NASL matches the Armada have played this year in their first season of existence, half of them have seen at least one side score 3 goals or more. Might we see the 9th and the 17th game happen here?
As long as it's 3 goals for the Armada, that will be super.
The home folks will be very pleased. There's Barrett trying to disrupt things. Scaglia running onto it. He'll put one ahead for Keita, who's tripped up right on the side.
That's good.
And that is Tobin again, who is certainly going to use every bit of his physical size advantage on Keita. Keita's got the speed. Tobin has the size.
He's been hitting him all night. He's a very physical player, is Connor Tobin, and he's been alongside Keita, and he's been told to do that. Keita's the dangerous player up front.
Yeah, I will say as well that Keita, the only games he's missed from injury were a hamstring pull sustained in Atlanta as he sends this one into the box and headed out by Tobin. But in every game in which he's played all 90 minutes. So even though he's been targeted, and you'd think at 5'5", he's not necessarily the biggest guy, but he is sturdy. He can take a knock.
Yes, he can. See how quick the RailHawks came out there, and
Jemal Johnson now, and Toby misfires off the left foot.
they came out very quick then, and luckily we had our midfield in place to rob them of the ball, and we countered. And that's what I want to see them do.
Another
Keep that
takeaway here
midfield.
by Million. But it can't lead to anything. Scaglia now. Million again. Lost in the air, and Capono low clears it out for Carolina. This is not the sit back and wait approach. The Armada actually putting more bodies in the midfield.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because they're going to attack. They're going to counter-attack and attack. They got to. They're 2-0 down. If we put more bodies, which we're doing in the middle of the field, we will counter those and pick up those loose balls. And there again, he's drawn a foul. I think that was Connor Tobin again.
Yep.
That fouled. I'm not sure he fouled. Probably
Fouled Keita.
Keita again.
Yep. And
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where what Keita will do here on this free kick. This is probably just beyond a range where you would put it on goal, Bob. But
Oh yes.
some opportunities here at a set piece.
As long as you don't leave the back open to the counter. I think you've got to keep that back three back for the counter. Midfield lying back a bit to pick up the loose ball.
Here's Keita dancing around one. And Perea was in the neighborhood on the doorstep, but Footy Danso in the way there and could not.
I'd like to
get
see
to
how
it.
close Pereira was to that ball. It was a great ball in, very low, as I said.
Armada continue to press here. Cipollani running between 3 Armada players, slides it forward, and then kick back the other way. And it'll be a goal kick for Fitzgerald. We're within eye shot of the hour mark.
I'm sure they're given a corner here.
I believe they have. Jamal Johnson is heading back that way. Must have caromed off a Carolina player en route to the goal area.
You see, we've got 2 players back, and then just in front of them, 2 loitering in that 23, 25-yard area, which is perfect to pick up the counter.
Here's Johnson. Ball curls one in along the ground, turned away by Carolina, taken out by Akeil Barrett. We'll restart things for Jacksonville. Now Nicola, the right back, well forward in this formation. Had it deflected, and another
That
corner
should be a
coming for
corner.
Jacksonville.
Yes. See that again. Akeil picked that up in that 28-yard area there, and that was the counter attack for them. It came out, and Tampa were picking that ball up the other night and countering. But he's laying back enough to pick that ball up, look, and play it wide to Nicola.
So Pascal Million will trigger this corner. The Armada have both their center backs back near the midline. A little more conservative here. And they'll be tested here. Cipollani on the run. Perea trying to close him down. Scaglia beautifully slides to intercept that one.
And had to. The player coming down the right was completely on his own. What a great interception that was from Scaglia.
That is just about, if you're going to play one of two moments to encapsulate Scaglia, that would be the kind of moment you'd want. Jemal Johnson sends one toward Fitzgerald, who tries to start a breakout quickly. The Armada get back to the midfield, and some pressure from Pascal Million. And Pascal takes it away. Million now. Tried to get it to Akeil Barrett. Couldn't quite connect. Now Scaglia with another takeaway.
Yeah, he's in just the right place. Them countering to make the tackle. He was playing far too high last week.
We're near the hour mark. Neither team has yet made a substitution, but Carolina appears to be ready to do just that. I see Naz Al-Badawi. They're ready to come in. You would think it would be for Mark Anderson. Here is Joseph Toby feeding it on to Jemal Johnson. Johnson at the byline, crosses it in. Keita couldn't quite get around Kapono Low. Kept in by Carolina, and now turned back the other way. Here is Pascal Million. Million into the box. And turned away by Carolina. Shipolani out on a run out, trying to start something for Carolina here. T. Shipolani maneuvers away from Scaglia momentarily. And the through ball intercepted easily by Joseph Toby. Played back to the middle.
Shipolani is a dangerous guy, as I said in the beginning of the program. He's got speed and he's got quick feet.
Now Barrett commits the foul near the midline, and that will bring on the substitution. Mark Anderson will come off as Naz Al-Badawi comes in. Al-Badawi, one of a number of players who played their college soccer in North Carolina for the RailHawks. Played at North Carolina State. And Simone Bracalello also will come on. He's a forward. And he will replace Connor Tobin. So forward in, defender out. With a half hour remaining, Colin Clark opts to get a little more aggressive, down 2-0.
This is where Armada need to keep this shape, keep doing what they're doing, winning the midfield, putting them on pressure at the back.
Here's Keita with a chance as he got past Danso. Keita to the left side of the box. Beats it out high for Jemal Johnson. Runs onto it, fires and scores! Jemal Johnson from 22 yards out. It's 3-0 Jacksonville.
What a great strike from Jemal. We saw that in the very first game of the season. We've seen it once or twice since. But beautiful strike, great ball out to him. And that's what I'm saying about the defense of the RailHawks. They're going to be split. They're going to be open a little bit because they must attack. And that was just a wonderful strike.
5th goal of the year for Jemal Johnson and the first assist of the year for Keita.
That's surprising. That's his first assist. But just a wonderful strike. Now, that puts a different light on the game. 3-0 up. What, 60 minutes gone, 30 minutes to go, under 30 minutes. But keep doing what they're doing, is what I say. Don't pull the defense back. Don't park the bus too early. Let's keep doing. We're winning the midfield, creating gaps at the back.
You're going to subscribe to the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" theory.
I am at the moment, because they're playing so well and they're still defending well.
There is Blake Wagner playing it forward, headed away by Fabricio Ortiz. Toby tries to chip it away and gets it to Jemal Johnson. Cody Danso up to intercept for Carolina. Well, Tobin is still in there, so we'll have to double check what the substitution was for Carolina. As it's played back and cleared out, but not all the way out, by David Sierra. Shipolani now curled in by Al-Badawi. Nicola will chase it and can't quite get there in time.
Has to be an Armada throw. Can't find anybody free, so up the line
here
is what you coach. Take it up the line. If you can't, there we go. What he's saying.
I believe the referee was telling Nick Law that he was too far forward.
But that shouldn't be another. There must have been a foul throw.
Must have been.
If he's too far forward, he should blow him and bring him back.
May have stepped across the line.
Yes.
So Capono Low will now throw for Carolina. Puts it short. Nobody in particular, and Nick Law sends it back the other way for a momentary breather for both sides. Muggy night in Jacksonville. Tobin forwards it. Now a long one to the top of the box. Novo trying to run onto it, but he was offside.
Yeah, the assistant's flag was up, but again, great tackle back there.
And Ortiz looks like he's a bit dinged up, grabbing the back of the right ankle. Novo can't believe that the flag was up.
Let's hope Fabricio hasn't got a knock there. He's so valuable in the back there, the way he's playing.
He's saying the old, hey, keep the physios off the field.
Yeah, I'm good.
Fabricio Ortiz has really, as Bob said, been a key component for the Armada on that back line. Christy Andauer has more on the Argentinian. Christy?
Yeah, such a key person in the defense for the Armada, and he's really made quite the transition of a lifestyle. He was the first of three Armada players to sign, and that was the first time he was in the United States was when he signed for the Armada. He still has his family back in Argentina. He's the oldest of three, a big brother, a sister, and family, and mom and dad. So it's really a big transition. He's doing a great job, and he's clearly a key player in the Armada defense. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. And of course, scored the first goal for the Armada in a organized match. That was against the Philadelphia Union when he scored coming up from a center back spot on a set piece. Here is Pascal Million crossing one to Jemal Johnson, about the same spot he scored the first time. Tried to curl one into the far post and sent it just wide.
Yeah, now Jamal's just having a go at everything, but what a great ball across this is. We just missed the ball across there, but that's Jemal with confidence.
Johnson scoring in the 62nd minute to make it a 3-0 Jacksonville lead. The Armada have won 3-1 on a couple of occasions, including memorably against FC Edmonton. Now Novo again. Flag was up.
But quick out from Sierra. He didn't know the flag was up. Very quick out there and dropped on the ball.
And if you think about the Armada season thus far, 3-1 against FC Edmonton. Scored 3 against Minnesota United in a draw. Scored 3 against the Cosmos in a draw. But they've not scored more than 3 goals in a match this year.
We've got an Armada player down there.
Jemal Johnson stretching out a calf, it looked like. Million heads it forward. Keita couldn't close the gap there.
Jamal's probably got a little bit of cramp, maybe.
Any kind of a tweak in tactics here, Bob, with a 3-0 lead?
No, I think we play as we are. We're winning the midfield. They're not getting too many breaks. They're not getting too many shots on goal. So, you know, if it's not broke, as you said, don't fix it. So I love commanding the midfield at this stage of the game.
Here's Blake Wagner sending one to Tobin. The captain's armband on. This time Keita comes to close him down in a reversal of fortunes. Carolina on the run, trying to get it to Novo.
Pereira cut that out.
Corner coming.
Be a corner. No, I like the way they're playing and they're pressurizing, but they're getting players back quickly. And they're keeping the 3 players at the back. Pereira, Ortiz, and Scaglia's playing a little bit deeper.
Chipped in again. Tobin. The Armada had thrown the offside trap.
And it didn't work.
And it was not sprung by Carolina and well covered by Sierra. Send one downfield here. That was a well coordinated offside trap, but Carolina just didn't go for it. Chieda tries to go over the top of Wells Thompson. And now, Akeil Barrett just got hammered by Naz Al-Badawi right in the face. Scaglia coming in. Al-Badawi and Scaglia. I'll tell you, Scaglia won't back down to anybody. And now some pushing and shoving.
And the assistants are coming in now to break that up. That was a complete, I think, a bang on Akeil Barrett. Right off the ball.
Scaglia still.
Let's hope the referee saw that and deals with it.
Let's see if we can take a look here. Watch Barrett in the upper left-hand corner of your screen as Keita kind of went over the top. Watch Barrett, what happens with Barrett. Barrett kind of grabbed the arm of Al-Badawi, and Al-Badawi swung the arm around. No card pulled on this one by Robert Sabiga.
Yeah, they were both at fault there, so he could either bring 2 yellows or ignore it.
And he chose the latter. Here in the
pretty good
70th minute. Yeah, I think it's well handled. Barrett went down with a little more velocity than you might have expected. He got hit in the face. Certainly caught him off guard. Here's Keita with Jemal Johnson to his left. Johnson now loops around. Keita will change fields to Pascal Million. Put it right on the money. Little back heel for the overlapping Sean Nicola. Was knocked out. It'll be a Jacksonville throw. Here's Remy Safi coming on for the Armada. Safi, who scored a goal against Boca Juniors, will replace Jemal Johnson. So midfielder coming on, forward coming off for the Armada here in the 71st minute.
I think he took a little bit of a knock then, and they want to save him for the Saturday game and get him ready for Saturday. Jemal is a very important player in that offense.
Here is Keita turning it back to Million. Million will back it up. First time that Remy Safi has played in league play this year. Former Jacksonville University Dolphin. Born in Iran, fled Iran as a religious refugee. And it'll be a goal kick here for Carolina.
That does 2 things. It brings off a forward who was injured, gives him a rest, but brings in a midfielder to reinforce the midfield a little bit.
It looks like 4-4-2 now for the Armada. Toby missed one. Cipollone will run onto it. Beautifully tackled away by Joseph Toby, who made up for it after whiffing on one. Cipollone, though, stays with it. Into the top of the goal mouth. And David Sierra springs onto it. Boy, Sierra, I think steady as a goalkeeper is one thing you'd certainly use as an adjective to describe his game.
He doesn't get riled. He doesn't show much emotion there, does he? But he's on the ball. He knows where he is in the goal and makes some really good interceptions.
Here's Million on the run. Slides one to Keita. Keita will slow things down a bit. Try to cut it inside Footy Danso. That's Ghana against Gambia in international flavor. And Sierra will send it back to midfield for Jaime Castrillon. Castrillon has Barrett weaving in and around behind him. Castrillon able to head it to keep it in. Into the box. Right past Safi, who got tangled up with Capono Low. Low goes down. Safi gets the whistle. Take another look here. Safi, who's lost about 15 pounds since joining the Armada.
Yeah, Safi
really trimmed up. I don't think he has that much muscle.
No, He missed that ball and just went for the defender.
So it'll be interesting to see who the other substitutes are, if there are any. See if we see any of the new faces like Ethan Sonis. He would be one who might come in if you want another defensive-minded midfielder. Here is Novo giving it off to Bracalello, and Safi coming back to clear it over the top.
Good run by Safi back there to be aware that his defense are looking a little bit ragged there on that play. Came back to just punch it over the bar.
It'll be a corner on this near side.
August 15th this Saturday, right here, 7:30, as the Armada take on the Atlanta Silverlegs.
Cipollani to trigger in the corner.
The big boy Connor Tobin's in there. Not a good corner.
And back to the feet of David Sierra. Sierra came up through the Real Madrid Academy. Has played professionally in Spain, in Puerto Rico, and in Honduras before coming to Jacksonville, and has done a fantastic job of learning the English language. Mentioned that last match he played.
He's a cool character, isn't he?
Yeah.
When we interview him, he's really cool and relaxed and thinks about it. And that you see that when he's in goal.
Pascal Million sends one across. Akeil Barrett will run back to it. Barrett settles it on the near side. And kicked out by Blake Wagner.
Super. Just keep the corners coming, keep the ball in their third of the field. And that's why I like the pressure on the midfield, because that does that. It keeps the ball in their third.
Cipollani went over and placed the ball neatly right at the corner. And Keita doesn't look like he's in any rush to get over there.
Cipollani thought that Keita was going to run after that and take it quick. He's dreaming.
I don't think so. Cipollani knows better than that as a veteran. Curled into the box. Castrillon got a foot on it. Safi was there, but Carolina able to turn it away. Bracalello now. Italian from Genoa. And
that'll be a yellow.
Yep, yellow coming up here.
I thought so.
Against Jaime Castrillon.
Very late tackle. He'd gone around him.
Second yellow of the fall for Castrillon. Take another look at it. Yeah, it took a lot of the man. Cipollani also kind of held up there.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Cagey move by Cipollani.
Caught his foot. Caught Castrillon's foot.
Castrillon has certainly played well here. It seems that he's getting better and better as the season goes on. A free kick coming for Jacksonville. You can see how much Robert Sabiga has been working tonight on a muggy night in Jacksonville. This one back to Sierra. We'll send it forward.
Yeah, he must have been offside.
Yep, Keita offside, it appeared. This, remember, the Armada doing this without 4 regular starters. Marcos Flores, Matt Boehner, Lucas Trejo, and Bochi Hoyos all out for either, in Trejo's case, a red card, the others for injury.
So what does the coach do when they come back? What a problem to have. They're playing extremely well without the 4 tonight. And now he's got to find positions for them. Mostly it's Akeil's playing super, I think, causing a lot of problems there, running fast. Pereira's playing extremely well.
Now Capono low getting looked at. And you would say, as far as the Armada, their 1-0 victory, same situation. They played without 4 regulars and with David Sierra in goal. And that was their last victory here at home. So more resiliency and maybe better depth than expected out of this Armada squad in their inaugural year in the North American Soccer League.
Yeah, great problem for the coach to have. Every coach loves that.
Daniel Scott has come in for Kapono Low. You see Scott there. One Hawaiian-born coming in for another Hawaiian-born. Scott attended Gonzaga, former Tampa Bay Rowdy. His brother Zach Scott plays for Seattle in the MLS. And here's Scaglia getting a yellow, and if he's not careful, he's going to get another one.
No, I didn't see that as a yellow. He hung off it, and then he timed his tackle beautifully and took the ball.
Let's take a look. Tell me if this would be a yellow card in your book.
He took all ball.
Yeah.
And that's why he's upset.
Yep. Take another look here. Any bit of the man? Just maybe
after the ball.
Yeah.
That's why he's very upset. That was a clean, I thought, a very clean tackle.
Played in. Headed out by the Armada defense. And again by Scaglia. Here's Barrett trying to run onto it. But Cipollani played it away quickly. And another foul. The foul's starting to mount here a bit in the second half.
I think that's because the RailHawks are attacking quickly, and we're making tackles, and the timing's not quite there for the Armada.
You can see some of the guys on the side here who are certainly have been working. The Armada have made just the one substitution with Safi. This one curled in. Now sent out. Cipollani trying to weave his way through. Intercepted by Scaglia. How far will Scaglia come out from his defensive midfield position? Safi plays it ahead for Keita. Soft little touch, but too soft. And Million couldn't get onto. Lucas Rodriguez could be the next to check in for Jacksonville, as he has taken off his vest in the Armada bench area.
Probably Akeil Barrett, maybe, to come off.
Looks like Castrillon, as you see there. 23 out, 7 in. So Castrillon to come out to the next opportunity. And he's played a very good game here tonight.
Extremely well.
Scoring his first goal as a member of the Armada. Here's Million with a takeaway. And one back by Daniel Scott. Safi stepped in front of one. He'll come into the box. Keita back to Safi. Now Million. Wide to Niklaw. Tried to curl one in toward Castrillon. Didn't find the mark. Toby running forward. He goes head over heels. And a red card coming up against Carolina. I think they're getting Wells Thompson.
Is it Wells Thompson or Connor Tobe?
Take another look and see who they nabbed with the red card. No, yeah, it was Daniel Scott who went low.
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible.
And Toby still on the ground. Take another look here as Toby went on the charge.
Number 2, Daniel Scott.
I would say this. There was no hesitation for Robert Sabiga, but we've seen plays like that yellow carded before.
Yes, we have, but that was definitely over the top. I don't think he had a chance of getting the ball.
And not too particularly pleased with how things have gone this evening, Daniel Scott.
No, he's pretty upset about that.
So any chance for Carolina to come back at this point, they'll have to do it playing a man down.
And we get a free kick just outside the box.
Yep. Well, Pascal Million, as Christy mentioned, told us this week in practice he thought that Carolina was coming into Jacksonville at a bad time because the Armada would be ready.
Yes.
He was prophetic.
He was absolutely right, yes. And of course they're ready. They wanted to win this. They knew they played well, quite well in Tampa, but for a few mistakes. And they've shown us tonight that they they can get people back. They can command the midfield against a good side.
See Keita lined up here to take one. Sean Nicola also well back. Keita blasts one over the top and a bit to the right of the goal.
That wasn't far out. Good.
So here comes Lucas Rodriguez finally for Castrillon. And Joseph Toby is returned as well. So Castrillon comes out here after 83 minutes of very good work for the Armada.
He's had a good game, and to get his first goal, he must be pleased. And he's played up and he's played very good defense, I think, and that's making the difference at the back of that midfield.
Here's Lucas Rodriguez sprinting on. Get his action started here. All played hopelessly to David Sierra. Rodriguez had started quite a few games at left back for the Armada, can also play some midfield. We'll see where they align him here. Looks like
they play a bit of possession soccer now to run the clock down.
Here is Nicola on the move. Sean Nicola chips one forward. Barrett, flag up for offside. And now a yellow card issued for the Armada, I believe.
Akeil Barrett for kicking the ball after the whistle gone, I think.
Barrett or Rodriguez, both are over there. We'll see who it officially went against. The Armada scoring 2 goals in the first half. 32nd minute goal by Jaime Castrillon, and then a minute later, Akeil Barrett. And then Jemal Johnson added one in the 62nd minute to make it a 3-0 Jacksonville lead. So Barrett with the yellow. 5 minutes regulation time remaining in this one. And it's all over but the celebrating here for the Armada. They continue to be very good at home. Tobin and Keita again going at it. And the assistant referee on that side, Ryan Peschel, just kind of giving a little shrug of the shoulders to Keita.
He's been banged about all night. I would expect him to go a little bit at him now.
All right, let's get an update from the sideline. Christy Andauer standing by. Christy, what do you have?
I have the fact that Tyler Williams is getting ready and suited up to go inside the game. I know that Williams hasn't seen the pitch this whole fall season. I stand corrected. This whole fall season, he has not seen the pitch. He was coming off of an injury, but he looks ready and geared up, and I believe he's coming in for Akeil Barrett, who has had a great match. Second goal of his professional career. Back to you guys.
Here's Safi from distance, blasts one into section 904. Well, Williams came on about this stage in the match in New York against the Cosmos, and a moment later it was Joseph Toby scoring the equalizing goal. No such dramatics here, but another JU Dolphin coming on as Akeil Barrett shakes the hand of Robert Sabiga and comes off.
Yeah, he's had a great game. He's caused a lot of problems up there, got a terrific goal. So he's had a good night. I wouldn't have said that the RailHawks have played badly tonight. What I have seen is the Armada have played really well, both getting players back and taking chances in front of goal.
Remember, the official clock is on the pitch.
Closing 3 minutes of regulation time here. The Armada will be back in Jacksonville. They will stay here, of course, at home, and on Saturday take on the Atlanta Silverbacks. And another 3 points at home, and suddenly the Armada are right back in the push for the NASL championship. This is a key time for Jacksonville, and really for all the teams trying to contend and claw their way into that top 4 in the NASL. Nicola getting turned around. The floater intended for Nova was too high and will be chased down by Joseph Toby, and it'll be a throw for Jacksonville.
He got turned around a bit there, Nicola, but he stayed on the player. He stayed between the goal and the ball, which is his job to do, and Hence, the player lashes out and plays a long ball across.
Wells Thompson, and the offside flag is up. And David Sierra doing his best scroll in the park over to get this ball. Just awaiting the seconds to tick away here, and for the Armada to improve to 4 wins, 4 draws, 8 defeats. They will have 19 points on the season. Here's Keita in the box and offside as he was just beyond Footy Danso. Carolina will fall to 5 wins, 7 draws and 5 losses on the year. They will remain at 22 points, 5th overall. But the Armada, with a victory here, will climb up into 8th place on the table.
I'm sure the Silverhawks are watching this game tonight and wondering what they've got to do.
Well, the first 2 matches between Jacksonville and Atlanta, 1-0 and 1-1. And so they have been low scoring for sure. Here's Tyler Williams using his body well. Williams usually a forward, but he was tackling all the way back.
And that's what they've done tonight, haven't they? The defense has played well. They've not let any of those breaks get away from them too much. That's because Scaglia's playing a little bit deeper and the midfield are getting back to make the tackles.
Here's Williams in a more comfortable forward position, taking it to the corner flag, being shoved on a bit there, and a throw coming for Jacksonville. We're hearing 4 minutes of stoppage time will be added here. So a little more work to do for Jacksonville to close out this victory at home.
3 minutes.
To see the Coastal Spine and Pain added time.
As we mentioned, the referee on the pitch is the one with the official.
Well, beg your pardon, 3 minutes.
They don't look in any hurry, the RailHawks. I think they would be in a hurry to take this and get an attack in.
And that was not a good throw from Footy Danso.
They must have come into the playing field and then out.
Quick throw from Toby into Keita. Back to Toby. Armada likely just be comfortable to possess this one for a while. Here's Lucas Rodriguez. Now Sean Nicola lining one up and blasting one. Nicola had delusions of grandeur there from about 40 yards out.
He loves, when he gets the opportunity, I'm sure he loves to do that.
1 ball sent to the 904.
And a member of section 904 gets his throw in for the evening.
They've been very vocal tonight.
As always,
it's good to see.
that supporters section in the North American Soccer League. They've traveled just about everywhere as well. I think everywhere except maybe Canada. And here is Cipollani sending one over the top as well. So the Armada ready to move up to 8th place on the table. And again, with a victory against Atlanta on Saturday, could vault up even higher. Could find themselves as high as 5th.
Yeah, and they draw a lot of confidence from this win tonight. They've outplayed the RailHawks, they've won the midfield, and they've defended extremely well. And of course, at the front, taking their chances.
Closing seconds of this one at Community First Park. The Armada just seconds away from notching another win at home. Cipollani tries to slot one through. Knocked down off the shot from Al-Badawi. Novo gets it back, chips it forward. Cleared out by Nicola. Cipollani keeps it in. A blast covered by Sierra. And that should just about do it for this one.
He's very cool, isn't he, and calm. He's just played very well.
And there it is, the Armada, a 3-0 victory over the Carolina RailHawks. Jacksonville avenging their only home loss of the season. Now 5 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 defeat at home. David Sierra with his 2nd consecutive clean sheet as the Armada win 3-0 over Carolina. A very complete match for Jacksonville tonight, Bob.
Yes, it was complete, and that's the word for it. They defended well, they got players back quickly, which they didn't do last week, and you saw some great chances being taken up front.